Hey guys, Shabbat Shalom. I was thinking about blessings and curses. Where in the Bible does it talk about blessings and curses? I've realized that, or at least something that I've noticed with believers, is we say you have to be obedient, otherwise, curses are going to come upon you, curses are going to follow you, that's sinning and blah, blah, blah. Well, not blah, 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 but, all of the things. But we don't ever talk about how we receive the blessings. We always tell people, if you do this, you're bringing a curse upon yourself. You're just asking for a curse. But no one says, hey, if you do this, you get blessed, right? You get blessed. But it's very interesting. Then when you look up what you have to do to get blessed, meaning walk it out, like what the word says to walk out, to be blessed, it's actually Torah. What people will call the law, which actually really means just teachings. It's teachings that governs a people. That's what it is. People obey the laws of the land. They'll obey the police officer. They'll obey the employee handbook at their job. They'll obey the Constitution. They'll obey, the traffic laws. But when it comes to Yah's laws, we're not supposed to do that. But he actually says that's how we get our blessings. And I'm not saying you're just performing to get blessings. No, because your heart posture matters, okay? And you got to walk this thing out in faith, right? Like, I know when I started walking in Torah, I was like, oh my goodness, I used to hear all of these things back in the day of like, during the end times, people are going to go back to the law. They're going to be doing sacrifices and blah, 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 blah. When the people weren't even responsible to do the sacrifices. And you can't go back under something that you were never under. Like, I never followed the law before. But I did go back to the original. Went back to foundation. I'm okay with Yah's law to govern me. There's a lot of prayers that I've prayed to help, asking Yah for help, to help give me clarity and structure. Because majority of my life, I've walked around like in confusion about a lot of things. And Torah is literally spelled out a lot of things. And it makes the walk so much easier. Like, y'all. And trust me, like, I have an analytical brain. And sometimes it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do? What am I not supposed to do? It literally, like, the word literally is like, do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. If you do this, that's going to happen. If you do that, that's going to happen. Do this, don't do that. And it's like, oh, you spelled it out for me. So if I just do this, we good, we cool. And that's when I started to actually see changes within my life. Literally. Because what I was doing before was not working. It worked to a certain extent. It got me to a certain extent. And I knew something was off. I'm like, something is off. Something is not right. And a lot of people around me did not understand. Some people did, but a lot of people didn't. And I'm like, something is, you just know something is off. And the first thing was when Yah called me to stop vending on the Sabbath. And then I really started to learn what it meant to rest in his Sabbath, to honor the Sabbath day. Because the last few years, I was leaning more so on my own understanding of what the Sabbath was, and leaning on like what other people said the Sabbath was. Even though I like read about it, I didn't really read about it. But honestly, I don't think I was at a point to really receive what it really is and what it looks like walking it out, you know. So back to this whole Torah, right? It's laws, which is really teachings that governs my life. I'm driving right now. I have to obey the traffic laws. I have to obey the Constitution. There's rules and regulations at my work. There's boundaries that people have in my life that I respect. I'm going to follow. Why is it so scary to allow Yah to govern you with his teachings? It helps create order. Without the law, the people had no idea what to do and what not to do. None whatsoever. And that used to be one of my biggest complaints when it comes to learning something new. I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do? What am I not supposed to do? You know? And it's like, Yah lays it out so simple and so easy. Just like you lay it out for a child. You clean your room, you're going to get on punishment. I'm sorry, not if you clean your room. If you don't clean your room, you're going to be on punishment. You won't be allowed on, you won't be able to play video games. You clean your room, you'll be able to play video games. And you may get some other stuff too. Because you're doing what you're supposed to do. And I just want to keep adding to you. So I'm going to keep blessing you. You get more privileges. But if you be disobedient and you don't do what you're supposed to do, these curses are going to come upon you. This punishment is going to come upon you. And now you're going to have to learn the hard way. Because you just walked outside of my boundary. Now you became a governor of yourself. Without order. And there is no order. And anything without order leads to chaos. So yeah. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? But I encourage you to take your thoughts back to Yah. Because we are not to lean on our own understanding. Sometimes we think we know things. But we have to say, Heavenly Father, this is what I believe to be true. But what is the truth? What is your truth? Show me. What do you need me to see? A lot of times we got taught so much by man that we just think everything that we taught is true. And that ain't the truth. So yeah. Y'all be blessed. And remember, the joy of Yah is your strength.